going on? So I've lost a lot of weight in my life, and it took me a lot longer than I wanted it to take. It took me a bit over 4 years. And you may see a lot of people online say stuff like, oh, I lost X amount of weight in a year, 6 months, in a lot shorter period of time than you, being me. But that wasn't me, right? I made a whole ton of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And that's exactly why it took me over 4 years to lose the weight, about 130 pounds, a bit over that. And on today's video, I just want to show you the three biggest mistakes I made, from my personal opinion, why it took me such a long time. And before I get into this, if you can hear me and see me, just drop a fire emoji down below. And if you're watching me either on the live or the replay, type live or replay down below so I know when you saw this video and when you got this information. So the first mistake that I made, this is by far the biggest mistake, undoubtedly, is that I tried to chase the biggest amount of weight loss every week. What happens is when you're really overweight or just overweight in general, your first week or two, you're going to lose a whole bunch of weight. For me, it was probably like 8 or 10 pounds, right? And I thought that was the norm. So every week afterwards, I tried to replicate that huge amount of weight loss, not realizing that that is not sustainable ever. And by me chasing that huge amount of weight loss every single week, I kept feeling like a failure because it wasn't attainable. Whereas if my mentality was, let me try to lose 2 pounds a week. For most people that are overweight, 2 pounds is nothing, right? You don't want to lose 2 pounds. You want to lose 8 pounds in a week because that will make you feel satisfied. And that was my mentality. So by me not chasing the 1 or 2 pounds a week, which is, hindsight's always 2020, but that would have been amazing. I tried to chase the 8 pounds, but the 8 pounds wasn't achievable. It wasn't sustainable. And the more I kept chasing it, the more I tried to restrict myself, eat less, move more, work out more cardio, try to limit and restrict everything to try to reach that same amount of weight loss as I reached the first few weeks or a month that I was losing weight. And that just shot me down for years and made me just spin the same cycle over and over again. Whereas if I was to aim for 1 or 2 pounds a week, I mean, 2 pounds a week is over 100 pounds in a year. If my mentality was, let me just aim for 2 pounds a week for as long as I can, I would have lost the weight in a fraction of the time. So if this relates to you, just write down me down below, because this is relevant to not only myself, but a lot of people that I personally know, people that I coach, and I tell them that you have to look at sustainability from day one, not from day whenever you finish your weight loss. It has to be sustainable. The second mistake that I made was that I didn't do any kind of weight training in the beginning. I did nothing but cardio and eating clean. So eating clean was pretty much chicken and broccoli, egg whites, brown rice, which is why I hate brown rice now, and just doing as much cardio as I can. Hour and a half per day, twice a day. Sometimes 2 hours twice a day, because I had no idea what I was doing. And that just got me the kind of look where I was super skinny. I didn't look like I fill out my frame, if that makes any sense. And I didn't like the way I look. I had no muscle on my frame. And once I started to realize that I should put on some muscle, my progress just completely went in the direction I wanted to go into. Because the more muscle that you have on your frame, the more calories your body will need to sustain that muscle, which just pretty much means that not only you look better, but you can eat more and not put on weight. And I'm a big guy, right? I'm 6'4", so I eat a lot of food. So for me, having more muscle is just beneficial because I can eat more and I love to eat. So if you're starting a weight loss journey right now, don't focus so much on the cardio. Look at the strength training, putting on quality muscle. Don't worry about, if you're a female, don't worry about, getting all bulky. It doesn't work like that. Especially for women, it's really beneficial to put on muscle, and just not always doing the cardio. And the third mistake that I made was that I completely, first of all, if this is making sense to you right now, just drop a fire emoji down below so I know it's actually, resonating with you and you actually, understanding what I'm saying. But the third mistake that I made was that I didn't have a limited approach to food. I had a restrictive approach or eliminative approach to food. So I looked at food as either being good or bad. French fries are bad, brown rice is good, lettuce is good, burgers are bad. And this only lasts so long. And this is why this enables cravings and the entire yo-yo cycle that you just may experience for years on end. Because if you look at food as being good or bad, the second you eat the bad food, you feel guilty. Once you feel guilty, you start to go down a rabbit hole of either binge eating, feeling guilty, and just maybe starving yourself, maybe not eating the next day, or just eating almost nothing. And this is not a healthy food relationship. You have to not look at food as being good or bad. You got to look at food as just energy, about which food has more energy, what food has less energy. And that's what I didn't understand from the beginning. That's exactly why when I ate 3 French fries, it turned to an entire bag of French fries. And that bag of French fries turned to a whole entire day of eating what I know I shouldn't be eating, because my mentality was, I messed up today. I'll just start back again tomorrow. Whereas if I told myself, this is okay to eat, but how much should I be eating of this? This would not trigger that entire guilt feeling, and I would be staying on track a lot easier if that mentality was what I had back then. But that wasn't what I had. That's exactly why it took me way longer than a lot of people you see out there who say they lost a bunch of weight in a short period of time. Like, that wasn't me. I made a ton of mistakes. 3 is just the top 3 ones that I feel like I made that made the most difference. There were so many more. But these 3, if you're listening and watching this video right now, don't make these mistakes, right? Because if you don't make them, if you take this video, you actually apply it to your own journey, you will cut the time in probably more than a quarter, probably in half, if not more. But you also won't struggle mentally about being stuck in the same place for so many years. And if this video made sense to you, just drop a fire emoji down below. Share this video with somebody else that may also need to see this information. And I really appreciate you watching this. And if you want to see any kind of specific video topics, let me know down below in the comments what else you want to see. And I'll see you next time.